Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be taking a step into Ikoria Standard with something that's a little bit unorthodox for myself, and for the channel in general. We're going to be trying hard a little bit, playing a little bit of ranked with a new deck that I've been messing around with. I know it's definitely not where it wants to be as far as fully optimized cards are concerned, but I really wanted to build around Emergent Ultimatum. So Emergent Ultimatum is a Sultai big mana spell. It says search your library for up to 3 mono-coloured cards with different names and exile them. An opponent chooses one of those cards, shuffle that card into your library, and you may cast the other cards without paying their mana costs. So I'll walk through what we're essentially going to be doing when we cast this. When we get to 7 mana, we are going to be allowing our opponent to pick between Spark Double, Nissa Who Shakes the World, and Liliana Dreadhorde General. That means there are 3 possible outcomes that can actually occur from this card. We can either get Nissa Spark Double, which means we get 2 Nissas. We can get Liliana Spark Double, which means we get 2 Lilianas. Or we can get Nissa Liliana, and that's also pretty good. So our opponent has essentially a rock and a hard place kind of decision to make. None of it is good, and I really just want to exploit this card. What I will say about this card is I think that it's supposed to be a 2-of in a deck like this, and there are certainly some cards in here I'm not entirely sure are correct. But again, I just kind of want to play around with some of the new cards, but I also kind of want to see how far I can take it as far as like competition goes. So we've got the usual suspects that you all know and hate. Nissa Who Shakes the World, obviously. We want to be ramping to that. A lot of our mana base is forests as well. We've only got 6 cards that are technically not forests, so the rest of it actually gets doubled by Nissa, which is fantastic. We've got our ramp package in Gildagoose, one of Leafkin Druid, some Uros, and eventually Cavalier of Thorns. One of the Ikoria cards in here as well, which kind of acts in a similar Uro-style fashion, is BioQuartz Space Godzilla, also known as Brokos Apex of Forever, and I'll show you the original, just in case it confuses y'all a little. So I'm going to make a point every time one of these Godzilla cards pops up to show you what the actual original looks like, and it's going to be this one right here. And this one allows us to cast Brokos from our graveyard using its Mutate ability, which means we can cast it for this instead and attach it to a creature. What we want to be doing is attaching it to our mana dorks when we no longer need them. So Brokos can go onto a Gildagoose and become a 6/6 flying trampler, thanks to Gildagoose, which is great. Or it can become a Leafkin Druid, which just goes over. Or a Murderous Rider, so it could be a 6/6 life-linking trampler. So there's lots of options there for BioQuartz Space Godzilla. It turns our really poor top decks into good top decks later down the line, so I like a 1-of. We're going to be milling it over with Tamiyo as well, who on the tick up actually allows us to reveal the top 4 cards of our library, and then if we choose the correct name, we get that card into our hand, otherwise they go into our graveyard. So our graveyard benefits somewhat from Tamiyo. We fill up for the escape cost on Uro, we roll over BioQuartz Space Godzilla. When Cavalier dies, we get a card from our graveyard, things like that. So lots of Tamiyo shenanigans here. I think that Tamiyo and Uro just combo very well together, so I wanted a little bit of Tammy shenanigans in the deck. But yeah, that's really all I'm going to go into as far as the deck is concerned. We're going to be playing a little bit of ranked. The gameplay I've got is really low on the bronze tiers because I don't really play ranked all that much. It's usually something that I'm not too interested in playing, but since I want to try and make this as good as possible, I'm going to be playing a little bit of ranked. I have come across a lot of cat combo as well, of which this is not a very good matchup, but honestly I faced far too much cat combo today. I don't really feel the interest in putting you guys through what I played. It's literally 10 minutes of watching a cat go in and out of the graveyard, so there's going to be no cat combo footage in today's video, but rest assured, you will see a lot of it in bronze, and this deck doesn't honestly have a particularly good matchup against it. If you do enjoy the content, then make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below what you think of the deck for the engagement gremlins, and yeah, other than that, let's get on with it. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button below the video or check out the Patreon link down in the description below. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alright, we're in. We've got turn 2 Uro and some lands to go with it, so I think we're happy with that. Opponent's playing a Garuda Doom of the Depths deck. Okay, so this is actually taking off quite a fair bit, it seems. So yeah, we're probably in for some sort of tier list. I'm glad that I gravitated towards probably the more powerful card that's being used right now. Makes me feel validated for thinking it's good anyway. We'll see. Maybe it's trash. Okay, Simic stuff. So, yeah, let's just do Swamp and then I think we'll just slap down an Uro. We might not have anything to do next turn anyway, so we can spend that turn making a... Ooh, very good. Making a food token to get these geese back online. I guess this doesn't put it into play tap, does it? No. Certain little things I still need to remember. I could have put a Gilded Goose down here and then I would have had Nissa, wouldn't I? So I kind of missed that opportunity. That's fine though. It's fine. It's not great, because the turn after we'd be going for Emergent Ultimatum and our opponent would still be on 3 mana. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. There's a little bit of good, a lot of bad here. Alright, so we're just going to make a food token. Opponent's gone for the Growth Spiral. Hopefully they tap out a little bit. I don't think I've seen this variant of the deck, to be honest, so I'm going to have to see. Our opponent's got no mana left, so we're in a really good spot. They got 1 mana, and I don't think we care. So let's go with Emergent Ultimatum. Again, not really too happy that we don't have Nissa down already, but they've only got 3 mana here, which means they've only they can't crack this for an untapped land, which means they've only got 1 mana available. So we're gonna go Liliana, Nissa, and Spark Double. So we either get 2 Lilianas, we get 2 Nissas, or we get a Nissa Liliana. Rocking a hard place, opponent. Rocking a hard place. How do you want to lose? What you got? I think they're probably a little upset that they've died so quickly. Alright, so we're getting Liliana and we're getting Nissa. I like it. Let's see if they can answer this, because I don't think they can. So we can make a zombie token. We can untap a land. We're going to go with this forest, I think, because then we just get to play another Gilded Goose, I suppose. After a wonderful swing right through Paradise Druid. Sweet. And then we've even got a minus with Liliana, which can get rid of 2 Gilded Geese, which aren't doing anything. So if our opponent actually adds to the board in any way, then they're going to lose everything, and then we still got a nice power swing. Everything with power still gets to go through. I don't know what they could possibly do here, to be honest. Island tapped. Because I don't have to resolve anything anymore, so if they are running like a Simic Flash kind of thing, counter magic just doesn't matter to me. It's a Fibble Fit. Alright. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a little bit of Liliana minus protection, I guess. But not enough. Alright, so I imagine the Liliana minus will make them concede here. I don't really see a world where it doesn't, to be honest. More Nissas, eh? Alright, so sack a goose, draw 2 cards, kill their board. Get a Swamp and an Uro. Might as well play the Uro, I guess. Let's get that into the yard. Filling up the graveyard as well for Uros. We get to draw a card off Liliana. Gives us a Triome, which we can cycle. Yeah, I guess we'll cycle. Got an island, so we are going to untap a Swamp, I think. Swing with everything but Goose. Although the message sending potential on Goose is very strong. We're just going to go like this and add a food token. Alright, opponent, what have you got? What have you got? Natin. You got natin. Absolute god tier draw there from us. And we even actually went a little bit slower than the deck was supposed to because I made a little bit of a misplay. A little bit of a oversight on certain math calculations there, but it still managed to swamp our opponent. I don't know what they were doing, to be honest, so, you know, just not giving them the chance to win at all. Alrighty then, we're in. And this is an awkward hand. We don't really have a turn 1 or a turn 2 play, which is not ideal for a hand, to be honest, from this deck. I think I might throw it back. Yeah, I think I might throw it back. There's an argument to some of it for, like, Uro and Tamiyo together, actually filling the graveyard to bring an Uro back, but it's really slow. I think we're going to keep this one. We'll put the Spark Double back in the trash. And then we'll go turn 1 Gildagoose, I guess. Hateful Eidolon. Alright. I've seen this deck around. All about Luros, and it's a black-white Boggles deck, essentially. So we want to be killing Luros really quickly, which is something we can do pretty quickly as well. Not with an Alcide in play, though. And a Deadweight. Fantastic. Alright. Our opponent's low on cards, but I think with the protection they have, it's not great. So we're just going to go Island, Hold Up, and Growth Spiral. Play that. And we just don't have the double black for Murderous Rider right now, which could be the death of us. I'm going to go with Starfield Mystic. Okay. And take 2. Yeah, I think they're always going to have Alcide open. So we're going to have to go off through what our opponent's doing. Alright, well, we got a Goose, which opens up some options, I suppose. Might have the ability to go Luros Deadweight on us, and if they do that, if we draw a Swamp, then we can kill Luros, which is very important. They might just want to throw it down without protection. Dreadhorde Invasion, 1 mana. 1 mana Brit Bitter Blossom. And a Mystic. Tapped out. Alrighty then. Well, we'll block where we can. I might as well crack a spare food token here. We're not really going to use the excess, I don't think. Alright, so I think this is where we just do Liliana and we start pumping out zombie tokens. I don't honestly know what they can do about that. Beyond just having removal for our zombies. There's Luros, so answer to the first zombie. But we draw a card when they do this as well. Oh, that pumps up Starfield Mystic, that's so filthy. Alright, well, goodbye Liliana then, I guess. All that for drawing 1 card. That's disgustingly good. Oh my god. Alright, well, we can't really allow that to happen again, so I am going to have to do a Murderous Rider on Luros. Got Nissa, okay. Yeah, I think we're just firing it off now. Kill Luros. Hope we can get there later down the line. And pass the turn so we can block a 1-1. Taking so much damage, though. Got 4 cards in the yard for Uro, we need 6. Another Starfield Mystic, eh? Oof. Oh my god, stop. Okay, so they get to draw 2 cards, so they get to pump their Starfields up like crazy. Opponents had the nuts. It goes without saying, this is absolutely the nut draw, and there's nothing we can do about it. We can play Nissa. We can shock ourselves, and we can hit the concede button. Alright, next game. Alright, we're in. We got turn 1 Goose, turn 2 Spiral, working up to a Tamio to hopefully slap down an Uro into the graveyard. We'll see. We're up against a Garuda Cyberclaw Terror deck, also known as Gigan. So, opponent's got the all odds, is it? It's all odds, right? It's all evens. Excuse me, good lord. Yeah, even come out in mana cost. Got all the burps today. Alright, so we're just going to go turn 1 Goose, pass the turn. Got turn 3 Tamio to start filling the yard, so we can get an Uro down hopefully on 4, if we're lucky enough. Alright, so I think we're just shocking with Breeding Pool here. We'll go Growth Spiral. That's unfortunate. Is there any value in actually playing a goose off of another goose? I don't know that there is. I'm just going to put Trial into play. Pass the turn. Goose isn't exactly particularly good unless it has a food token to sacrifice. Especially in a deck where I don't think life total is going to matter. Opponent passes. I really hope that's not passing because negate. That would be a shame. Let's go with... We've got Forest. I guess we'll take a Swamp. Want to have good mana for Emergent Ultimatum down the line, but ideally you also want to have all the forests as well, because Nissa. Alright, well, I'm going to go for Nissu Shakes the World. Pretty sure that's like the best thing we could play next turn. Good stuff. Liliana, Murderous Rider into the yard, okay. I think this is Growth Spiral, right? Is that where our opponent's playing? Yep. Alrighty then. Still Simic. You got it. So, from my understanding, this Garuda deck, or Gigan deck, is very similar to the one that we played on day 1 of Ikoria, but with more of a ramp style to it. So it's getting up to Gigan a lot earlier rather than delaying the game like the deck I built did. It has the Spark double interactions and things like that, just not so much like Charming Princes. So Thassa, Spark double are still in the deck, but it's also got like Dream Eaters and things like that to bounce permanents. Opponent's really ramping, good lord. Extinction Event, by the way, haven't commented on this just yet. Absolutely absurd against the all evens deck. Because mine, apart from my lands, are all odds. Let's just do a forest here, I guess. I don't really mind losing a forest if it means that I can absolutely destroy my opponent with an extinction event. Opponent's really going to fill up my graveyard as well with this Garuda combo, so that's going to be fantastic. Do I want Liliana? Do I want Liliana? I guess I could take Liliana. Then again, if I tick up, my opponent's likely to give me, like, really good cards. I might just go for Emergent Ultimatum and see what happens. Wow. I whiff is what happens. Okay. You got it, Chief. So here comes Garuda, I guess. Here he comes. Alright. Mill me something good, please. They just took my Spark double. Oh my god. Oh my god. You would get that, wouldn't you? Oh my good lord. And I just saw an end raise Foreigners as well, so I guess we lose. Well, that was a good game. You knew my own deck was going to kill me. Come on now. There's literally no other option. Can't take Godzilla. Because it's 5 opponent. There we go. Let's see where they want to go with this. You only have 7 points to spread around, so we hit nothing good in ours. That's so bad. Alright, so I think we go for double block with Gilded Goose. Yeah. Let's just take it. That means Tamio can still mine us for anything good. We're gonna Extinction event our opponent on evens. Goodbye board state. Could go for Extinction event again. I guess I might as well. Let's make sure that I have that for when they go off again. I think they've only got one, maybe two Endurance Foreigners in their deck, so we shouldn't really expect big, hasty shenanigans necessarily. And I do kind of have to beat down my opponent, so as much as I don't really want to open up Extinction event to my own lands, I think I have to. Let's go with a forest. I guess I could just play BioQuartz Godzilla as well, couldn't I? Just as he is. Oh no, he's in my graveyard. Never mind. Yeah, let's get him. You know what? We're doing it, because it's BioQuartz Godzilla. I would like my Godzilla to be here, please. And you can see why you don't really do that. It's now a 3-3, because the land says that it is a 0-0, according to Nissa. So that changes the power and toughness of BioQuartz Godzilla there. But it does mean that I've got an odd and I don't lose to Extinction event, a land that I would otherwise lose. So did they get something there? I don't think so, right? That was it. They hit a lot of good stuff for me. My deck benefited from what they just did there. So I think I'm just gonna... I just don't really care to get rid of Gigan, to be honest. He's not doing me any harm. I'm just gonna Uron. Let's get some stuff going. Breeding pool, goose, 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 duck, duck. There we go. Let's get an Uro out. Liliana. Okay. We've got 25 cards left. 2, 3, 4. Don't know if we can play anything here, right? Let's see. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, can't really do anything. I could go for Extinction event, I guess, but I'd lose a land doing it. So let's not do that. Let's go with... At this point, I guess Murderous Rider. Oops. Murderous Rider. Another Uro in the yard. Okay. Well, untap a swamp.
Behold, nature's true power.
Pass the turn. I doubt they attack into the Uro, but maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Does this thing still tap for mana? Is that an ability that the land had? Good question, Tom. I don't think so. It doesn't seem to be lighting up to be tapped, so no. I think is the answer there. You got all the mana in the world, but if you ain't got nothing to do with it, opponent, you're in a bit of a pickle. Kogla. Okay. Please eat one of my evens. Thank you. I will block your Gigan, because it's going to die anyway. Well, I don't know. We'll see what they do. Nothing. Okay, so we Extinction event on evens. Goodbye board state again. Play a Triome. Untap this breeding pool. get swing in. Put an island into play. And yeah, that's probably about it. That's all we really need to do. I don't know if I want to take up with Tamio. I guess I'll go for a murderous rider or something.
Seek and find.
Murderous rider. There we go. Alright. Pass the turn. See what they can do. They're at 2, so they can't really swing. If they get anything here. Because I will swing back and kill them. They need to entirely deal with my board state. I've got 3 points of damage on the Nissa. I've got a Emergent Ultimatum on the Tamio. I've got a lethal board currently in play. Yep. If they somehow dealt with this entire board, I have an Uro in the graveyard. If I top deck a Goose, then it becomes a Bioquartz Godzilla. So yeah, pretty solid. Pretty solid. Horrible matchup for them as long as we get our extinction event. It's pretty miserable, in fact. Okay, we're in. It's got turn 2 Leafkin Druid, turn 3 Uro, and no double black mana for the Murderous Rider. Awfully tempted to throw this one away, but it looks like our opponent's playing some sort of jank, so I guess we could get away with it. When faced with jank, I'm a little bit more inclined to keep a hand like this. It's probably one of the downsides of Companions, is I know right away what we're up against. So it's all creatures in our opponent's deck, it seems. As per the restriction of Umori, which says each non-land card shares a card type. So the fact that they've got Gilded Goose means all cards have to be creatures in their deck. So I think we're in a good spot. Alright, so we got an island, we got an Uro. Gets us to leave the Leafkin Druid open to block the Paradise Druid. I really love a land. Fantastic. Alright. So that actually means Cavalier of Thorns next turn, which is really speedy. So what do you love to see? Alright, so if I could get this in the graveyard, it would be more ideal. But I guess black mana off of Cavalier of Thorns means I can turn this Leafkin Druid into a 6/6 Trampler. I wanted to mutate that way. I guess we don't really need to mutate with Bioquartz Godzilla, unless the black is a restriction and it's in our graveyard. Because it doesn't actually do anything when it mutates, it's just, it can be mutated from the graveyard, it's kind of the point of it. Elysian Caryatid. So we're all about the mana dorks. I'm seeing a rampy theme here. Yeah, I think we're just going to go Cavalier of Thorns, look for a black source. Fabled Passage, I guess. Put all those cards in the yard and then thin the deck. Add more for Uro as well. Then we can get a swamp that way. Got no 2 mana play, so pass the turn. Alright. So what's our opponent ramping into then? At least we don't have to worry about like finales and things like that. I guess Enray's Forerunners are definitely a thing that we'd have to concern ourselves with. So I guess one of the upsides actually, now that I think about it, of mutating over just playing is that the creature we mutate onto doesn't have summoning sickness. So we could turn Leafkin Druid into a 6/6 that swings right now. So that's kind of a cool little feature. Alright, so Yarok gets some double in. I think we're going for Scry 4 here. 2 to the bottom. Yeah, we're digging hard for something very specific. Interesting. What are our costs looking like? We got 1, 2, 4, 2, 2, 5. Even's looking pretty good on an extinction event. That's why I'm running it. I just feel like that card can get so much value so easily. Alright, I think we're gonna start with a Growth Spiral. Grab a Swamp. That allows me to then go Murderous Rider on Yarok, which seems like a pretty decent shout. We could actually like cast Yarok, Murderous Rider, which then allows us to add 2 mana on the Leafkin Druid. I don't know, we could take our chances. I'm actually kind of curious what our opponent's doing, so in the interest of knowing what our opponent's doing, I'm actually just going to go for the Uro, and we'll see if we draw a land. If we do, then we've got Murderous Rider as well. If we don't, I get to see what my opponent's playing, and that's pretty exciting to me as far as I'm concerned. So while I don't think this is the correct play, it's the most fun play. I will open up a swing, I guess. I'll just trade a Yarok off this way if you want. Yeah, otherwise I'll just take a mana dock. Works for me. Okay, so they've scryed pretty damn hard. I think both were... I think it was 4 bottom, right? Luminous Broodmoth. Ooh. Well, that's going to have to die first. It's Mothra. Yeah, that literally has to die first, because if anything else dies, then we've got problems with it all coming back with flying anyway. So we're scrying, and I think we're scrying again. 2 to the bottom. Yeah, there must be a 1-of in their deck that they really need. 2 to the bottom. And a Druid. Out of cards, and on top decks. They don't know what the top card is. I'm not going to block, because it comes back. Got Nissa, who ruins the game. Alright, so we can do a Nissa who ruins the game.
We will not fail.
Let's... So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we go Breeding Pool, I think.
Be wary of ground to walk on.
Which allows me to go boop, boop, boop. Murderous Rider, the Brood Moth. And then it leaves me enough to just do an Uro here. Which I think is totally fine. We keep the Uro that's in play. Let's gain some life, draw a card. And at this point, I think we're going to go for a double swing. I really don't think I care too much about the Nissa on the way back, as much as I just do pressuring our opponent. It's like my board state's very good, and it's staying very good. I guess maybe I can keep a Cavalier back. There you go. Let's be not silly about this. Let's put that into tapped. Just get a random chump off, I think, here. I don't know if they trade the Death Touch off with Yarok, which is obviously like the best way of killing it. Okay, well, I'm making sure Umori dies. We get a 2-for-1 there, which is nice. Gonna lose our Nissa, but we're gonna take some stuff with us, and yeah, they've got to use all of their mana dorks really to get in and do that kind of damage, so opponent's had enough. Yeah. Not like a explosively cool hand, but here's what it is. Let's go for another game. Alrighty then, we're in. And I kind of like this hand. It's got turn 2 Murderous Rider, so we have a little bit of interaction. So the ramp could be a little bit better. But I think I'm happy enough with this hand. We'll see. I mean, we've got lots of good draws anyway next turn. Growth Spiral, Uro, all of that shenanigans would be very nice. Opponent on what appears to be a Flyers list. We got the Uro. I think that's what we're going with. We'll just do Forest Uro. It's not great to use the Gilded Goose this way, but I think we want this ramp nonetheless. Let's get that tap land into play. Gain a little bit of life. Next turn we can use Gilded Goose as a blocker and make a food token, perhaps. Might even get an early Rally of Wings out of them, who knows. It's actually mono white Primates. Okay. Got Nissa. Sure. Pass the turn. Gonna need some blue mana for this ultimatum, but this hand's stacking up quite nicely. This is where they drop Heliod, and we wonder if the shuffler is broken. So far, so good. Shuffler is not broken, chat. I am joking. Please do not take it seriously. Alseid of Life's Bounty. Sure. And finally, we make a food token and pass. My turn. Cavalier of Thorns. So, if we went with Nissa, we would have lots and lots and lots of mana. However, if they had an answer to Nissa, we're back to 4 and we're not doing anything. So I'm almost inclined just to use this turn to go Cavalier of Thorns. It's a good blocker, adds mana, which allows me just to Nissa and potentially just Liliana next turn as well. Find that blue source, hopefully, on a breeding pool. Actually, a Triumph. I'll take a Triumph. Better fixing. There's an ultimatum in the graveyard. In fact, one in hand, one in the graveyard, one in deck. If this was Hedron alignment, we'd be in a really good spot. Alright. So good news is we've got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of forests. Just need to do something with it. Yes, Cavalier of Thorns has reach. Alright, Ajani Strength of the Pride. So they can make some Pride Mates, which are going to go pretty huge. We don't really have to worry about them all so much with Liliana in play. Until the point where one swing is enough to kill us, since the Alseid can have bad block opponent. Since the Alseid can give protection from green, and then we can't block it. I guess we have Liliana to make black creatures, so we have black and green, which they can't possibly fully protect themselves from. We're going to go with an island, I think. So we need the double blue for the ultimatum. This leaves me with 4 mana, so I could do Nissa, untap this Overgrown Tomb, bit of input lag there, and then I think we're just gonna murder the crap out of Ajani. Yeah, let's murder the crap out of Ajani. Stop him making another Pride Mate, essentially, which pumps up this Pride Mate. That's the turn. So we got an Emergent Ultimatum in there, we got an Uro, which we can actually cast the Uro. I'm looking to just play this one from hand, I think, though. But if I have to trade off a Cavalier, then double Ultimatum's not the worst thing in the world. Banishing Light. Sure. Gets rid of Cavalier. I still have the chump block with Gilded Goose, though. So, what are we gonna do? It's a difficult choice, clearly. I don't think they realise that they're dead. Oh, I don't know if they know that they're going to lose. Yeah, free block on Nissa. I'm going to take that free block on Nissa. What are they wondering? Sending it all at Nissa. Okay, well I've got a 0-2 that's doing literally nothing here. They're going to give protection from green to the Pride Mate. Well, that works. Okay. So he's dead. Sure. But then they are dead. Alseid. Get a forest. And I think we're just going to drop down Liliana. Start pumping out some zombs. Zombie time. Could go minus. We were left with nothing though, and then we lose our Liliana as well. I think we'll take our chances on them not having another Banishing Light. We're a land away from victory anyway. I think we've got the black, blue. We need blue. And then we've got the rest on green. Actually, I haven't found as many non-basics as I'd have hoped, I guess. With Nissa out, we had tap this for green and then make... Or tap this for blue or black and make green at the same time, so... That was kind of there as an option. I don't see them winning here. Even if they killed Liliana. I think killing Liliana means we end up blocking, which means we draw cards. And we're so close to an ultimatum. There might have been a turn where I could have actually made a food token with Gilded Goose. That way I would have had the extra land as well. So they can make green or black. Which one? I'm going to go for protection from green, so I have to block with my 2/2 zombie. Okay. I will do that. Desperate lunge. Okay. Sure. Fine. Yeah, no blocks. That's fine. Goodbye, Liliana. I'll get you back in just a moment. Shock it in. Ultimatum. And I win. Alright, we'll get Liliana, Nissa, and Spark Double. Let's see what they want me to have. They killed my Nissa. They killed my Liliana. But can they kill Nissa, Liliana, or Nissa, Liliana? That is the question. Which do you hate most? And if you could do it in a timely fashion, I'd really appreciate that. You tell me, opponent. Alright, they want me to have Liliana. So we're going to make sure to stack Spark Double first so that it enters after Liliana. That way we get to do this. So we're going to tick up there, we're going to tick up there, going to swing there, and we're going to pass the turn. How do you beat double Liliana? I've never seen someone give me double Liliana before. It's fascinating. That's the first. Usually you get double Nissa. That's the one you should put your money on. We've got Linden. Okay. Well, this might as well be a million. As long as it doesn't have another desperate lunge, we don't really care about its power and toughness. And I have a minus, a double minus, in fact, if I really wanted to come in right up. So I think I'm just going to chomp here and block here. Going to draw 2 cards. If I find a Murderous Rider, this game is very much over. I'm going to draw 4, actually, sorry. Double Liliana passives. Yeah, opponent's had enough. We've got a Tamiyo, and I think we rolled over an Extinction event there as well, so we can Tamiyo minus, get Extinction event, and then exile the 2 drops, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what we'd go for there, but yeah, fantastic. That is going to do it for today's video. I think the conclusion on this deck is it's not quite as good as I thought it was, to be honest. But then again, I have built it in such a way where it's more including cards that it might not otherwise. I didn't really want to just make it a typical net deck kind of thing. And yeah, as I mentioned, I don't think like 3 ultimatums is necessarily what you want. Its likelihood is that this thing isn't as much of a swing as you maybe hope it is. But yeah, I think this is a really fun deck as far as it goes, me including lots of tier shenanigans. I don't know. I'm going to be playing around with this one though. It's going to be like my pet style deck, tweaking it as I go, seeing if I can make it as good as it could possibly be. But yeah, I'm sure this isn't for everyone. I'm sure most of you, some of you at least, didn't sign up for this kind of deck. So we will be back for more Turbo Jank later on in the week to make up for it. Lots of Brawl, lots of drafting as well. I've got 2 tokens, 2 draft entry tokens ready to go. So we'll be doing some drafting later on in the week. I really want to explore all that there is to know about Ikoria. So we'll be drafting, we'll be brawling, we'll be historic brawling, and then obviously events, more standard to come, all that jazz. And if you do enjoy the content, then it really helps out if you hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment directed towards the engagement goblins. They love to absolutely consume comments, so really helps out the channel a great deal. And if you hit the like button and follow us on Ethobe as well, that also helps out. It's a free way to absolutely support the channel. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. Take care.